Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the May Power Hour. Glad to have everybody with us here. Saw some lively comments going on in the chat here. Hope everybody's doing great. So let's see who's with us today. Luana. Good morning, Luana. Loves these power hours. I love these power hours too. So, got something there. Got to get that off. I want a mote of dust or anything on my face while we do this show. That would be awkward. All right. So, Martha. All right. Welcome, Martha. Hope this is a productive power hour for you as well. Deborah, good morning. And Carla, good morning. And Luana sending out some good vibes to everybody. Good morning to all you wonderful, inspirational people. Fantastic. Dot C is working on a first book in a new series and drinking coffee. Awesome. I'm drinking some herbal tea myself. Some good tea by Traditional Medicinals. So good stuff. Martha, guzzling coffee and working on the second mystery in a series. First one came out fast, but this one's harder. I can relate to that. I can definitely relate to that. Some sequels just, I don't know what it is. All right. Gussie, good morning, Gussie. Working on a contemporary romance and eating a bowl of Life cereal. That might be a first. I've heard people eating and drinking a lot of things during this show. Life cereal is might be the first. All right, let's see. And let's see here. Oh, Rachel T. Good morning, Rachel T. French toast coffee with vanilla creamer and fantasy, first book, and loving the music. Guys, give me 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. There was something in my background that was just bothering me. So, okay. And Rachel T says, loving the music today. Thank you very much. That is from Chill Hop Records. So they have a program where you can kind of stream all of their music from their catalog on your YouTube videos free of charge. All you have to do is just give them credit. So I love their albums, and they actually have a summer album coming out, I think the first week of June. So every 90 days they have something coming out, which is awesome. All right. So we got a lot of people here. A lot of people are jumping in now, so I'm not going to be able to shout out to everybody here. But let's see. Okay, I am seeing we've got some first-timers. So welcome, first-timers. If you're a first-timer, let me know so I can say hello and welcome. All right. Emmett Fitzhume says, hope you're feeling better. Thank you. You know, I've been dealing with some illness over the past month or so. I've been dealing with two things that I'm fighting, or one of the things I've conquered. I fell down with an upper respiratory virus, like right after the last power hour. And, you know, I had like a sore throat, and I was sick for like a day or two, and then it went away. And then it came back in the form of strep throat, which for me is the worst form of punishment because it means I can't dictate. So I lost like a week and a half worth of dictation. Yesterday actually was like the first day where I didn't have a hoarse voice. Actually, my strep throat got so bad that I lost my voice. So I couldn't even speak. So I'm behind on YouTube videos. I almost thought I was going to have to delay the power hour. But anyway, I'm better there. But next month, I am going to have to get some surgery. I've got a kidney stone I got to take care of. Not any pain or anything, but it's, like I said, not major, nothing serious, but I'm going to have to get some surgery to take care of that. So I might be down a week. But this is probably a good time to let everybody know that the next power hour, I am going to have to move. So usually I do these power hours the first Saturday of the month. Next Saturday, or the first Saturday of June, I'm actually going to be in Dallas, Texas at the InkersCon conference. I'm speaking there and look forward to meeting some cool people there. So if you are going to be at InkersCon, let me know so we can connect and say hi and all that good stuff. All right. So not sure if anyone's going to be there, but I will be there presenting during the time of the power hour. So I'm going to have to move it. I may actually have to move the power hour to like the middle of June. I know it's super awkward. I won't be able to do it that next Saturday either. So we'll see. and we'll see. I have to look at the calendar to see where like the Memorial Day stuff falls. That might not work. So I'm just gonna have to see. All right, but either way, I will send out an email notification, and I will let people on the blog know, or on my blog know. So if you're not on my email list for Author Level Up, authorlevelup.com/fan club. That way you'll get notifications when I do have my next Power Hour. And then if you read my daily blog, I'll also announce it on social media and on my YouTube community tab. So I'll let you all know in plenty of advance time when the next Power Hour will be. And then depending on where 4th of July falls, we'll just kind of see where we're at. All right. So awesome. Yeah, we got some good stuff coming on here. All right. So next thing I want to just let everybody know that will be good for people to know. My author estate planning series. So you guys know I wrote a book on estate planning. I wrote 2 books, the Author Estate Handbook and the Author Heir Handbook, and they're about helping you plan your estate so that you can continue your book sales and your family can continue making money from your books after you're gone. You guys know the deal there. I wanted to let people know that if you are a member of the Alliance of Independent Authors, ALLI, it's a nonprofit organization for self-published writers, I have licensed the ebook edition to ALLI. So now it is available as part of your ALLI membership. All right, so if you are an ALLI member, you can go log on now and download both books and get them for free as a value of your ALLI membership. So this is a deal I did with ALLI. They need content like this because this is something that a lot of authors have been emailing them about. So I think this is a trend that's going to continue, and I'm excited because I get global reach. A lot more people are going to get exposed to the book. So authorlevelup.com/ally. That's ally with an I if you're interested in joining. All right. So why don't we do this? I know we've got a few people in the comments who are new. All right, so I just want to let everybody know the rules and what this is, because you probably stumbled upon this and you're like, what is this? All right, so first Saturday of every month, I do a Power Hour, and the Power Hour is where we get together for 90 minutes as a community, and we write toward our work in progress. You can work on your novel, you can work on your poetry, you can work on your short stories, you can even work on your website if you want. Doesn't matter. We're all just here being productive, sharing good vibes, having fun, and I am here to answer any questions that you all have about writing life, marketing, whatever it may be. And what we do is we go on a writing, I put a timer on the screen and some nice music, and we will write for 20 minutes. And then when the timer goes off, I put a 5-minute timer on, and we just shoot the breeze, have some fun. You guys let me know how many words you wrote. And then we do another 20-minute session, break, 20-minute session, and break. And then at the end, you all know I will stay on until all of your questions are answered. All right? So if you're a first-timer here, that's what we're doing. And so welcome aboard, and certainly a lot of people who can't make it live, they like to watch the replays as well. So that is what we're up to here. So it is 10:08. So why don't we go ahead and get the session started? I'm going to get some music on the screen and a timer, and once the timer counts down, we'll be back, everybody. So we'll have some fun, and good luck in your work in progress, and let's get going.
you
All right. Well, that was the end of our first writing session. How did everyone do? So, first timers, if you're not familiar, what I invite people to do is let me know how many words you wrote. Let me know in the comments how many words you wrote and then how you're feeling. All right? Because my belief is that if you feel good when you're writing, the words will be 1,000% better. You know, I don't know if it was Billy Crystal that said, if you look good, you feel good. I don't know what that was, but I think I really, really do believe that. So let me know how everybody is doing. I did want to give a quick update. I wanted to talk about some dictation stuff while those numbers come in. So don't forget you can ask your questions as well. So I actually purchased a voice recorder. This is a Sony UX 570 voice recorder. Costed me about $70, and I basically have exploded my dictation word count. So I got this. It was like right before I got sick. I was doing like 5,000, 6,000 words a day, like minimum. And that was not really even trying that hard. So I basically what I do is I speak. So like if I'm doing my dishes, for example, like this morning, I was doing my dishes. Perfect opportunity to dictate. So basically I have the voice recorder. I speak into the voice recorder. And then, while I'm doing dishes or while I'm, out in the lawn doing something or whatever it might be, just whatever. And then I go and I use Dragon and I use the transcription feature. And it takes, about a couple minutes to upload the audio. And then it transcribes it. And like the results are just amazing. And so I've paired that with some Microsoft Word macros that I built. And a little method, I think I talked about it last month. I call it the Pikachu method. So if I make a mistake while I'm dictating, I'll say Pikachu period. And then that way, when Dragon transcribes it, all I have to do is I wrote a little macro that will automatically delete any sentence that has the words Pikachu period in it. So it makes for cleaner dictation. And then I've also got this other method. I call it the Bulbasaur method, where basically if I get interrupted, like if I'm doing my dishes and my daughter needs something, wants a snack or something, I can just say Bulbasaur and then go talk to her and take care of her. And then when I'm ready to start again, I'll say Bulbasaur again. And then that macro that I wrote will basically look at the first Bulbasaur, get the second Bulbasaur, and then delete everything in between. So it's like super, super clean dictation. I came up with another idea. I think I'm going to call it the Charmander method, where if I want to format text in real time, what I can do is just say Charmander in front of it, and then say what I want to say, and then I can flag it for like formatting stuff. So super, super effective. If anyone is interested in dictation, I would highly recommend going this route. It is like unbelievable. Like unreal. All right, so let's see where everybody is here. I had to stall while people were putting in their comments. All right, Emmett Fitzhume, 400 words, feeling better. Had writer's block for a couple of days. Happens to us all. I'm just getting back on the horse after being sick, so it happens. All right, Chantal, 382 words, feeling good. That is fantastic. Martha, 611. All right, Sailor Twilight just joined up. Hey, it's never too late to join. Again, you're the one with the Roxas avatar. I hope you're excited about the Kingdom Hearts 4 announcement that came out. All right, 111 words, still waking up. All right, and .c, not doing a strict word count, but went over 700 words. Feeling good. Excellent. Everyone's doing great. Roland Denzel in the house. 90 words, but editing chapters, so that's okay. Progress is progress, my friend. And Martha, Michael, do you have listed somewhere a list of the dictation equipment and software you use? Yes and no. authorlevelup.com/gear, I think is the, let me check it real quick. authorlevelup.com/gear. That's authorlevelup.com/gear. That's all of the equipment that I used to use, well, that I kind of use for dictation. The only thing that's not on here is this. So I'll drop the name of this one in the comments, and then I'm going to add that probably during our next session, just so people can have access to it. It's a Sony Sony UX570 voice recorder. And it's a very good voice recorder for the money. And also, there's another one by Olympus that a lot of people buy as well. So you've definitely got some choices. I even corresponded with someone, I think on these Power Hours, who uses one of the cheap ones on Amazon. I think it's called Evistor, EVISTR. It's like super cheap, but it's actually apparently pretty good. So you can check that one out as well. All right. All right. Odd Isle Rabbit. 104 words. Feeling great because I was stuck for the past few days. I'm sensing a theme here. Writer's block and things like that. It's all good. All right. Blessed or messy. Sending healing energy your way. Had a minor hand surgery last week. Well, thank you very much, and I hope your surgery went well and you're back in the saddle. All right. So that's another thing. Before we get into our next session, that's something I did want to bring up. It started, well, depending on where you live. All right. I always have to say that because everyone watching could be all over the world. But at least here in the United States, it's starting to get nice outside. And this is what Dean Wesley Smith calls the time of great forgetting. So I suspect that's why these numbers are a little bit low today on the Power Hour. Either people are just still sleeping or it's nice outside and the flowers are blooming, at least here in the States. Flowers are blooming. It's beautiful. People are outside a little bit more. And then the writing tends to fall by the wayside. So just keep that in mind if you find yourself drifting away from the computer. Definitely a good idea to get out and enjoy some of the sunshine and the nice weather. But don't forget about the writing. That's why I do these Power Hours. And it's also why I do my Beast Mode Challenge every year so that I don't fall prey to that. So this year, Beast Mode is going to happen again. So I'll be able to announce a little bit more about that next time. All right, let me see. Just making sure I got everyone's questions here before we jump into our second session. But everyone's doing great. Oh, by the way, I'm working on book 3 of my Chicago Rat Shifter series. I just started it this morning. So doing that, and I'm going to be off to the races, and I'm going to try to finish that before I have to go out on surgery. All right, so let's jump into our next session so we can shoot the breeze again here. But I'm going to throw some music on the screen, 20 minutes, and let's get it done. Good luck, everybody. All right. All right. Second session. How did everybody do? Let me know. Let me know your word counts and how you're feeling. We look like we were averaging about 300 to 600 or so words in the last session. So I'm curious to see how everyone else is doing here. All right. Fern says, thank you, fellow walkers. Puppies want to take me for a walk now. Understand. All right. I wanted to show you guys, while the numbers are coming in, I wanted to show you a hack that I did. I realized that I didn't talk about this, or this was after the last Power Hour. So I mentioned that I bought my voice recorder. What I didn't tell you is that the voice recorder has to be close to your mouth in order to be accurate. So I bought a harmonica holder, and I put the voice recorder in the harmonica holder, and I walk around my house looking like this. So when I'm doing my dishes, I have this around my neck, and I got a little screen protector on here to protect the screen, although it's not a very good screen protector. And I just walk around like this. If I'm doing my laundry, I guess walk around like this, and this keeps the microphone really close to your mouth. All right, and you can get this harmonica holder for like $20. You know, you can probably go to your local music store and find one. And the cool thing about them is that they've got these felt pads in the back that don't scratch your voice recorder. All right, so and the voice recorders are they're so inexpensive that it's okay. But yeah, so this is one way I'm using Dictation to get my way to higher word counts. Now, when I'm at my computer, I don't have to do this. But like after this power hour, I'm gonna go upstairs, and I'm probably gonna have to do some dishes. So guess what's gonna go around my neck while I'm doing that? Now, yes, it looks weird. Yes, I haven't been bold enough to go out in public like this. I actually got a lavalier microphone that kind of goes into the voice recorder for situations where maybe I want to go out in public and dictate. And then I just basically pin that to right here. It's not as accurate, but it's still a thing. So for those of you who are interested in voice recorder tech, that is a really, really cool way. Like I said, it looks silly, but you can't argue with the results. All right. How's everybody doing here? Rachel T, 404, getting engrossed in the story again. That is a good thing. Martha, 423. Chantal, 463. Emmett, 565. Everyone's feeling good. Good stuff. All right. Sailor Twilight, 210. Auto Rabbit, 253. Sailor Twilight, yes, looking forward to Kingdom Hearts 4. Still need to finish Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah, you're not the only person I've heard say that. Seems like it was a little underwhelming. All right, Luana Bennett, 340 words. All right, hey, Roland, you're getting on a roll here. 678. All right. And Y Lockett asks about the voice recorder. Does it turn your voice to text? No, it does not. But you can take the MP3s that it records and upload those into Dragon, and Dragon will turn your voice into text via its transcription feature. All right, so that's how I use this technology. It's pretty pleasant. You know, the only things that are kind of difficult with it though are, one, you have to relearn how to speak. So you have to speak what I call Dragonese. So you have to be able to say, comma, I hope that you have a great day, comma, and that your day is full of sunshine, period. You know, you got to talk like that, and that's weird for a lot of people. Once you do it, you can slip into it pretty easily, but just learning it is kind of tough. And then the second thing that it's not required, but that I highly suggest, because you guys know me, is that you have to learn how to speak clearly. So you have to articulate way more and enunciate way more than you ever would when you're actually speaking like I'm speaking now. And then on top of that, you have to be committed to speaking cleanly and dictating clean text. If you can do all of those things, oh man. I mean, this last book that I wrote, I dictated it, I was dictating like 5,000, 6,000 words a day, but that was clean text. Like it needed some editing, but it didn't need that much. So it's good stuff. All right. Rachel T says Kingdom Hearts was so good. All right. Blessed or Messy, 582 words, feeling 100%. Fantastic. Roland, I have a cardioid headset mic for my recorder, but I feel like an idiot walking around and talking. You know, Roland, I don't know if it's just because I've gotten older in life. I don't even care anymore. You know, like the only reason I'm not putting this thing around my neck and going out to the park is because my wife would probably kill me. But I don't care. I mean, I'll walk around. I mean, if anything, the only other reason not to do it would be because it's distracting. Like if I walk around looking like Darth Vader, people are gonna walk up to me in the park and say, "What are you doing?" You know, and then that becomes a distraction, and then you can't get more words in. So you kind of have to go to like a solitary park or something. But hey, like I said, I would rather look like an idiot and have 5,000 words for the day of clean words than worry about what other people think. That's just me, Michael Laron's opinion. All right, .c, are you using Dragon on a Mac or PC? PC. I would highly, highly suggest that people do not use the Mac version. I know that it is still floating around, but it has been officially discontinued from Nuance. So you're not going to see any support for the Mac version. And fun fact, I have actually used the Mac version back in the day, like 5 years ago, and I can attest that it is not nearly as accurate or as good at capturing your voice as the Windows version is. I don't know why, but I actually learned how to dictate on the Mac version of Dragon, and knowing what I know now, I wish that I hadn't, because when I got to the Windows version, it just works so much better. Like it just translated my voice so much cleaner. It didn't, like, I felt like I had to relearn how to talk when I learned how to dictate on Dragon. And I think it helped me in the long run, but yeah, if I could do it all over again, I would have bought a Windows computer, honestly. So, all right. Rachel T, I felt silly trying dictation. I also feel my thoughts flow faster when my mouth isn't moving. It's not in my wheelhouse to do both of those things at the same time. Yeah, I hear that from a lot of people. I mean, it's kind of either your thing or it's not. I did it out of necessity because I had to. But I know that there are some people that just, it's hard to align that. I mean, it's like chewing gum and walking at the same time. I mean, well, I guess no, it's not. It's not like chewing gum and walking. It's like driving and having a philosophical conversation with someone at the same time. Like, you've got to drive and make sure you don't crash the car, but then you've got to be hearing what the other person is saying and retorting and thinking about your own responses and watching for pedestrians. It's a challenging skill set. It really is. But if you can master it, the results are just out of this world. I actually I just contributed to Kevin J. Anderson's Kickstarter. I don't know if you guys know Kevin J. Anderson, but he's prolific, definitely one of the masters of writing. And he actually, as part of his Kickstarter, he's going to release his entire. Okay, so what he does is he does the voice recorder method. All right, but he actually doesn't do Dragon. He actually just hires a transcriptionist, and the transcriptionist translates everything for him. But like, if you listen to his audio, it's insane. Like, it's like, that's what I want to get to. Like, he's just talking to you like I'm talking now. Like, it's like the story is just coming off of his tongue, you know? And when I dictate, it's it's not like that at all. I'm pretty choppy. It takes me a long time to figure out what I'm going to say. But there are definitely different levels to it. And, you know, some people just use it to get their ideas down too. So, but yeah, to your point, it is a challenging skill set. And if you hear some background noise, that's a blender going on in the background. All right. Martha says, if you dictate straight into Pages on a Mac, the dictation is very accurate. Okay, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. I know a lot of people have used Google Voice too, and have had some success. Those are just never going to be as accurate as Dragon, but if that's what you can use or what you want to use, that's cool, especially if you're a Mac user, because I run Dragon for Windows, but I run Dragon for Windows on my Mac because I have Parallels, so I use a virtual machine. Not everybody can do that, or not everybody wants to do that, so that sounds like a cool alternative. All right, Luana. Sometimes instead of the story coming to my mind, a person's name will come to me, and then I build a story around that name. My question is that normal for the name to come before the actual story? Sure it is. Yeah, I mean, I get names for my characters all the time before stories. It's also normal that the name doesn't come right away too. You know, you could come up with the story, and you know, I can't tell you how many times I've been writing a story and, damn, what am I going to name this character? And I just literally come up with it out of the air, you know? So it's normal. There's no right or wrong way. Just trust your brain and do what it says. Rachel, my dictation is often interrupted with many pauses. I felt it wasn't pursuing because of that. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll release some of my dictated audio at some point. I think you would be surprised at how choppy and interrupted it is. Sometimes it comes out clean, but for the most part, it doesn't. But even with that, I'm still able to do 5,000, 6,000 words a day. So even if it's choppy, you know, I like the results. All right. Oh, yeah, Roland, Dragon just ignores the pauses for me. Yeah, it does. That's one of the nice things about it. I mean, you could have a 30-minute MP3 and then Dragon, but you might only have, a few thousand words in there, and Dragon will just cut all that out. You don't have to worry about it. That is really nice. All right, let's get to our third session, folks, and then we'll come back and shoot the breeze. I'll stay on, answer any questions you got. All right, so we'll start the third session here. Happy writing, everybody, and let's go to the finish line. All right. How did everybody do? We got to the finish line. So let me know, what was your total word count for the day? All right. Good stuff. Let's see. While everyone is doing that, I'll go through and see if there's any questions that came through. Okay, Adoji. I love and hate names. Other writers come up with awesome names, and then I look at the ones I come up with, and they seem super boring. I think it's all relative, my friend. It is what it is, and at the end of the day, it's not about the character name. It's about how the character makes your reader feel. All right, let's see. Rachel T. Oh, we were continuing our dictation conversation. I was just using text-to-speech on a notepad app to try it out. I may have to give it another go. Yeah, definitely. If you're interested, any questions, let me know. Corey, a bit late to the party. No, the Q&A party is not over. If you have questions, now is the time to ask. So, no, not late to the party by any means, unless nobody asks any questions. All right. So, Emmett says, we're replying to Adoji. I write a lot of sci-fi and fantasy. There's a great website called Fantasy Name Generators. It's got tons of names, even if you don't prefer those genres. Cool. I didn't know about that. All right. TT Me. I need this, but I missed it. We're at work. It's okay. You can watch the replay. And we'll be back next month as well. All right. All right. Luana had made a comment before we went to our third session about finding names and whether it was normal for a name to come before you started writing the story. So Andrea is replying to that and says, don't worry about what's normal in your creative writing process. We all have our own ways of coming into a storyline. That sounds dope and unique to you. Agree 100%. Let's see. Okay, Blessed or Messy, are you using StreamYard or Google Meets to host the live writing prompts? Neither. I'm actually using a app called Ecamm Live. It's a Mac application that basically, it's a lot like OBS. If you're familiar with OBS, it's like streaming software. And it's similar to StreamYard. But what it allows me to do is it allows me to do the graphics. Like I can do the graphical overlays. I can run the music on top of stuff. I can do screen sharing if I wanted. I can take my face and put it into a little circle. I can do graphics like lower thirds and all that stuff. And then I link that up to an Elgato Stream Deck that basically I use. It's like little gel buttons. I can use those to kind of control things back and forth. So everything's organized into scenes. I've used StreamYard. In fact, I think the very first Power Hours were with StreamYard. And I didn't have any issues with it, but I just didn't want to pay the premium plan to kind of unlock some of the stuff. So Ecamm Live is amazing. I would say it's probably like the Cadillac of the stream stuff. Not cheap, but definitely something to check out if you're interested. But yeah, very, very easy to use, and I like it a lot. All right, Blessed or Messy, 650 for the day. Nice job. Chantal, 1302. All right, got into four figures. All right, 743, Rachel T. All right, Martha, just over 1,000 words. Great morning. Hey, any day you're into four figures is a good day. It's a really good day. Let's see. Adrian, how do you find publishers-held writing contests? I can't find any on the web. Yeah, I'm really not the person to ask that, Adrian. I don't do contests, so I don't have much of a window into that world. You could, I don't know about publisher-held, but you could check out Book Award Pro. That's run by Hannah and Jay Jacobson. They're really good people. Bookawardpro.com. They connect you with writing awards and stuff, and I used to use their service and got an award for one of my books, Be a Writing Machine. So it definitely works, and they kind of connect you with some obscure stuff too, but it could be really good for marketing. So check out Book Award Pro. Tell them I sent you. They're good people. All right, Martha, I use Nebo on the iPad to write longhand. If anyone likes writing that way, it's extremely accurate, even with messy handwriting. Tell me more about that, Martha. I'm intrigued. I had thought about getting God, what's the name of that it was a Onyx. I think it was an Onyx Books tablet that's like, where you could write stuff on it and it kind of translates your handwriting to text. And I looked at the Remarkable for a hot minute, and the price was just way too high. But Nebo, I've never heard of that. I thought about like an iPad with an Apple Pencil too, to maybe try some handwriting stuff, but never have pulled the trigger on that. But that's interesting. You're the first person I've heard that's ever said that, so I'm interested in that technique. All right. Rachel T, as a streamer, I appreciate your setup. Very nice. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It took me a while to get to this setup. I'll tell you that. Corey, okay, I'm wondering about crossing a line and psychological thrillers. Do you think it is a reasonable concern to write something that is too full on? It's a great story, and I try not to be visual. Well, I don't know what you mean by full on, but I think I know what you mean, that you're going to cross a line that's potentially like a taboo topic. You tell me if I'm wrong on that. Hey, I don't know. I'm not one to go up to those lines. I don't even go anywhere near them, to be honest with you. Things like rape or incest or really, really brutal murders. That's just not my thing. That said, this is a genre where that is a little bit more accepted. So I would look at what other people in your genre are doing, and I would see how they handled it, and then I would see how readers responded to it, and then I would make your decision based on that. There's always going to be some readers who are just completely turned off by that, and I think you just, if you're willing to go that far, I think you just have to be okay with that and understand it. And as long as you're operating under the conventions of the genre, then you're going to roll the dice no matter what you do, but hopefully you'll be okay. All right. That would be my advice. All right. Sailor Twilight, off to a good start. 500 for the day, but off to a good start. Hoping to get 2K today. Yep. 2K is a good number. Very, very good number. 2,200 is my daily quota when I get back to writing. So I started this novel today. That's typically my quota. Okay, Martha, I love to write longhand. Nebo is just extraordinary when paired with an iPad. Okay, so I'll have to look up Nebo. I've never heard of that, so thank you for that. That's pretty cool. All right, Roland, just about to 4 figures. Good times. Okay, and I'll use an Apple Pencil. Okay, great. And Chantal says, I find that I can't get the words down fast enough using longhand. Yeah, that's definitely a concern. There's something to be said about longhand, though. Like when you write, your brain works differently when you're writing by hand than it does when you type, and that's something I haven't been able to connect with in a long time. I mean, I'm probably no exception, but I think a lot of people started off writing their stories by hand. I did, and there was something special about that. But naturally, writing by hand is problematic because if you can't digitize it, or if you're like me and you have terrible handwriting, my handwriting is awful. It's just awful. Like my handwriting was probably never better than it was in the 5th grade. Let's put it that way. That's how bad my handwriting is. But yeah, I think there's an allure to it. Martha says, I looked at Remarkable and similar products, but it's too hard to manage your text files and transfer them into Scrivener. Yeah, that was a concern that I had too. I got the sense that they weren't really thinking about writers, when they made this. Ironically, even though this you can use it to write, and you get a stylus and all that. I really don't think they were thinking about fiction writers or nonfiction writers, and that's kind of why it was never really that attractive to me. One of the things I really liked about Remarkable, though, one of the reasons I consider buying it is because I wanted to, I'm always wanting to read more books. I'm so prolific as a writer that my reading is kind of tapered off a little bit. I mean, I still read more books than your average person, don't get me wrong, but I've always felt like I could read more. And when I'm reading like a nonfiction book, sometimes I just want to annotate, and you just can't do that with the Kindle, or any like the major writing app or reading apps on the market. Like I want to be able to mark up a text and put notes in the margins and things like that. And I just haven't found a workable solution for that. But yeah, I'll have to check out that Nebo. Okay. Luana, at times I have trouble with my world building and my stories. Is there any such thing as making your character's world too complex for readers? Oh yeah, I mean just look at George R. R. Martin. I mean, there's a lot of people that love Game of Thrones, but man, that it takes a lot to get into that world and be able to follow it. So yeah, I mean it's possible. It's possible. I would do what's intuitive to you though. Like if you feel like you need to go complex or you know add additional characters or add additional layers, I would just do it intuitively. Do kind of what your subconscious is telling you to do, and then see what readers say. And if the world is too complex, I mean, the readers are going to say it. They're going to say things like, "Yeah, I had a hard time keeping these characters straight," or "It was a great story, but I had a hard time following it." I mean, readers don't. Very few readers are going to come out and say this world was complex, but you can usually read between the lines of what they're saying. And you can use beta readers too to see how that's going. But I wouldn't let fear of a story being too complex stop you from writing the story by any means. Because at the end of the day, you came up with that idea for a reason. And I'm a big believer of following your instinct. I think writing is 99% instinctual. And the other 1% is the skill level that we all try to study and get better at. But I think if you just follow your way into the story, even and that's true whether you're an outliner or a pantser. If you're outlining the story, to me this advice applies regardless. I just try to tell people to do what's intuitive to you, and then let the chips fall where they may. And then you may find out that your world building actually wasn't complex enough. Or maybe it was deficient in some other areas, and the thing that you were worried about actually isn't the thing that readers focused on. So that's what I try to say. All right. Oh, Martha says my handwriting is doctor bad. Yeah, mine is too. All right, Adrian, how many copies does an average self-published book sell? I don't think anyone can answer that question. It depends on how. There's just so many factors that go into publishing a self-publishing a book. It depends on your story, depends on your craft, depends on your marketing skills. It depends on the genre, depends on the cover and whether the cover targets the people it's supposed to target. Sometimes you can be ahead of your time. Depends on the editing. It depends on the first chapter. Depends on the sample of the book. Depends on timing. I mean, there's just so many factors. That's just not a question I think anyone can really answer. All right. Author Level Up says, I love annotating. That has definitely been my issue with Audible and Kindle. Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, when I used to read paperback books, I would annotate the heck out of them, because I'd be studying the craft or I'd be marking things that I liked or things that, if it was like a nonfiction book, things that I would want to come back to later on or things I would want to research. And that's just something that's been completely lost in the electronic era. And I think that's a casualty I don't think people lament enough. It's kind of like it's very similar to me with like DVDs. Like if anybody still buys, I haven't bought a DVD in years, but I used to love listening to director commentary on DVDs. Like you listen to the actors or the directors talk about like the behind the scenes of the movie while you watched it, and that doesn't exist with Netflix. That effectively died. With the advent of streaming services. And I still, for the life of me, cannot understand why services like Netflix and Disney Plus and Hulu don't offer some of those DVD extras. Like, you would think that would not be a difficult thing to program, but that's just one of those things. It's another casualty of the digital era. I don't know. I'm put on my bathrobe and get my newspaper out and dye my hair gray. I'm kind of curmudgeon, but there's just some things that you just can't get back. All right, Luana says my handwriting is chicken scratch. Absolutely, so is mine. All right. So I'll continue to answer questions as they come in. Some things I want to let you guys know. I am one of my next videos, because you guys have asked for it, is going to be the long form papyrus author video. I'm actually working with the papyrus author team on something right now, so that'll be fun. But I'm gonna do that long form video that I promised, so that is coming very soon. I'm also gonna have some more videos. I'm gonna be back to a regular rotation coming up pretty soon. So I know I've been gone for a few weeks. Seems like I always get sick right when I'm about to record a new video. I don't know why that is, but sometimes when you're doing this, I've been YouTubing for almost, this year will be 9 years, and I haven't been consistent throughout those 9 years. My books come first, right? So I got to publish books, because if I don't publish books and constantly write and learn and immerse myself in the world of writing and publishing, then I can't be of service to you guys. So there are times where I have to go away, but I've been better in recent years at being consistent. But even now, there's times where I may have to go away for a little bit. And I hope you guys just know that at the end of the day, when you average things out over the period of your career, it all evens up. It all evens out at the end of the day. And that's true of your publishing as well. So if there's a day where you can't write, or there's a month where you can't write, or you go through a personal circumstance where maybe you can't write for a few months or even a few years, you can always come back. You can always come back, and you can always get back on the saddle. And in many respects, that's the best thing you can do. And I just think about so many. There was a YouTuber that I used to follow, and this person just completely deleted their channel, and I couldn't believe that. This person had been YouTubing, I think, since like 2013, 2014. So just no matter how you're feeling, or no matter what you do, don't delete your stuff. Don't do that. Don't delete your stuff. Keep writing. Keep at it, even though we're in the time of great forgetting, and things will happen. It may not happen on the time frame that you want it to happen, but you'll be so much more at peace with yourself 10 years from now. That's one of the things I know I keep saying that on my channel, but you just have to think about the actions that you're taking today, but the sheer fact that so many of you showed up for this power hour today. You're going to be glad you did this today 10 years from now, because 10 years from now, many of you are going to have a ton of books, right? And it's everyday actions like this showing up even when no one is watching, right? And continuing to write and make progress. It just makes all the difference in the world. I'm telling you. This is my 10th year publishing anniversary, technically. I didn't publish my first book until January 2014, but I started writing right about now. Well, actually, it was July. July of 2012 is when I officially started on the self-publishing path. And man, I'm so glad I sat down at my kitchen table all those years ago to start writing, even when it was hard, because look at where I am now, So it just adds up over time, I'm telling you. All right, Adrian, how do you launch a book? Well, Cliff's Notes, probably could do a whole video on this, but easy. The best way to launch a book is, number one, everything that has to do with the launch, first and foremost, has to do with your packaging. That's the most important part of your launch, right? So making sure first that you're a student of the genre that you're writing in, that you know what genre you're writing in. That's another thing, because when I started, I didn't always know what genre I was writing in. Like, I knew I was writing fantasy, but I didn't always know the nuanced subgenres and things like that. So understanding that on a granular level, what genre you're in, that will help you create a cover that will be better and more targeted to your market. Understanding how to write a good book description. A lot of people tend to like summarize their book descriptions. I did that in the beginning. I would summarize my book and talk about what the book was about. And in all reality, that's the last thing you want to put in your book description. So learning the art of copywriting and learning sales copy, that is an art. And then you do those two things, right? And then, tell the best story you can. All right. So if it's your first book, I'm assuming it probably is your first book, tell the best story you can. It's never going to be perfect, but just do the best you can with the writing. Those three things are the most important parts of a launch, because at that point you can start to do ads, you can start to connect with people. But if your book cover's crap, if your book description is crap, and your writing isn't as good as it could be, you don't have editing, that sort of thing, then there's no amount of money in the world, no amount of marketing in the world that's going to help you. But if you do those things right, or at least on an average level, then you can start to focus on a launch. So what I do, I have a mailing list, and if I were a new person coming into this from the beginning, I'll talk about that perspective. I would start a mailing list. So you can get a service like GetResponse or Aweber. And that mailing list allows people to opt in to get notifications when you have new releases. Now, when you're a new author, you're not going to have anybody on that list. It just ain't going to happen. It might be your friend or spouse or somebody on your list, but you're not going to have anybody on that list. But it's important to start it so that even if you get one or two people here and there with your next book, then you can use the list to greater effect. So part of launching that first book is at least getting that infrastructure built. That's an important, invisible part. Another thing that's helpful right now that wasn't as prominent when I started was ads. So learning how to run pay-per-click advertising like Amazon ads or BookBub ads or Facebook ads, pick one and then learn how that works. And you will have to spend some money at it. It is not the cheapest thing in the world, but these days it is pay to play. And so the better you can do with some of your ads, the better. I would also use a service like Book Sirens. You can check them out, authorlevelup.com/booksirens. It's a fantastic service. Basically, you put your book there, and then Book Sirens will market it to readers of your genre, and then those people will basically, if they're interested, because you got to have a good book cover, book description, all that, they'll download it, and then they can leave a review. And so you pay based on how many people download your book. Whether they leave a review or not is up to them. But in many respects, that has to do with how well you did from an author perspective. So I would use a service like that. It's fairly affordable. I think you only pay $2 per download or something like that. So, and you can cap it based on your budget. So I would use a service like that. I would also look for book bloggers or people in your genre and pitch the book to them. And the success rates are unbelievably low, but you got to start somewhere. And then I would also use services like Bargain Booksy. There's all a bunch of them. Robin Reads, Awesome Gang. I don't even know if they're still around, but these services, basically you discount your book at 99 cents in exchange for they'll basically put it on their email list. They've got thousands of people on their email lists. They'll feature your book in the email lists, and then people who are interested will click through and buy, and they'll be able to get the book at a discount. This is most helpful if you have a series, because then you can use book one in a series as an advertisement, and then if you've done your job, if the writing is good and people are interested in the story, then you hope that they'll click through and go buy future books in the series. Another thing that could work pretty well is just networking with other authors in your genre. I'm always a little leery of newsletter swaps. I know a lot of people have used that to great effect. I've used it and had some success with it. So basically, you network with another author in your immediate genre. They send out your book to an announcement about your book to their audience, and they'll buy the book and so on and so forth. But that really only works if you're writing. It only works if you're doing it with someone who's in your immediate subgenre. It's kind of foolish in my opinion to do a newsletter swap if you're a fantasy writer, to do a newsletter swap with a science fiction writer. That makes zero sense. But if you write urban fantasy and you do a swap with another person that writes urban fantasy, that's a little bit better. It's even better if your book is about vampires, for example, and the other person's book is about vampires, right? So it's got to be like, the closer you can get to like a one-to-one match, the more successful you'll be. All right. So in the beginning, you're not probably going to have very many people on your list. So it's about networking with other authors, and maybe some folks will be able to help you out. But those would be some of the things that I would do to launch a book. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to that holy triumvirate. It comes down to the writing, making sure you got good editing, making sure you're continuing to improve on your storytelling, book cover, and book description, and of course price. All right, so hopefully that helps answer your question a little bit. All right. Adoji. Oh, thank you. The channel that got me into YouTube, years ago, stopped uploading and then started again the year before COVID. Yeah, I mean, that's how things go. All right, Blester Messi says, thanks, congrats, 10 years of publishing. Thank you. And thank you everybody for the kind words. I appreciate it. Let's see. All right, Krish, I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer this, but I'll try. How can I manage cannon fodder if one of the most defining traits for my main villain is that he cares a lot about the people who work for or with him? Think Soren. Okay. So I'm assuming your villain is kind of like a bad guy. I mean, the kind of villain that kicks over trash cans and has no redeeming factors. But at the same time, he does have redeeming factors to the people who help him. So can't stand anyone else, but if you pledge loyalty to him, he'll take care of your people. I would say at the end of the day, it's about in your scenes. I think you just have to you just have to make the villain. You have to show that, right? So if I'm just using an example, if the villain is working with orcs, you show the villain being good to the orcs, show the villain doing good things for them, show the orcs, talking about how the villain did something good for them, and I think you can accomplish that fairly easily. But then when it comes to everyone outside of the orcs, then the villain has to be stone cold evil. I mean, so really at the end of the day, how do you do that, right? I mean, it's easy to say, to show this and show that. Take opportunities with your scenes. I don't know if your story is told in the first person or third person. These sorts of things are a lot easier to do in the third person, but if there's a scene where you can show, you can have a scene between one of the characters and the villain and the orcs, teaching or doing something nice for them that seems to be out of character but not so much, then you could try that. Another thing you could think about is just the villain's motivations. I mean, is the villain taking care of these people because he really cares for them, or is he taking care of these people because he needs them to do something for him? That's another thing you could think about too, and you could think about some ways to portray that. All right. So really good question. That was a really specific one, but hopefully I could give you some sort of answer on it. All right. So, well, folks, I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. This has been a great Power Hour. Keep your questions coming, and I'll get to them next month. I usually, and this is about the time where I announce the date and time of the next Power Hour. But for those of you who join late, the next month's Power Hour is going to be on a different date. I'm going to be in Dallas at InkersCon, great publishing conference. So if any of you are going to be there, I would love to see you. But I'm going to be there this first Saturday of June, and then next Saturday of June, I may be recovering from this minor surgery I've got to get. So I may have to push. I may push it. I may do the next Power Hour later in May, depending on how Memorial Day works out, or I may push it until the middle of June, and then we'll just have another Power Hour 2 weeks later. So either way, I will let all of you know on my social media channels, on my blog, on my YouTube community tab. And then if you are on my mailing list, authorlevelup.com/fan club, as soon as I have it, it will probably be later this week or in the coming week, I will announce the date to give you guys plenty of time. All right. And then I'll also let you know when the July one will be, because this is right about the time of the year where things get a little weird. 4th of July, sometimes it falls on the first Saturday, sometimes it doesn't. And, for my friends in the States, I don't want to do a power hour during a holiday weekend. So I may move things around. All right. But we're getting into the time of great forgetting. So don't forget to write. Keep at it. Keep that momentum going as the weather gets nice outside, my friends. And I'll talk to you next month. Take care.